Good morning. It's May 14th, 2024, and we're going to do vacant land discussions. Better that you know before you find out through a mistake, or better hope your real estate advocate is knowledgeable. You don't know what you don't know. You don't want to get your education from your mistakes. Vacant land issues. Check with the county during the inspection period to verify you can meet your needs. Paving, dump, flood zone. Wisdom comes from education, experience, and making mistakes. Zoning, you need to know your zoning. You need to make sure that it's going to be able to do what you want it to do. Permits and approvals, are you going to need them? Are you going to want them? Have you gotten the education to know what you're going to need? Are there utilities? Are you going to have a $5,000 or $10,000 power pole or a $10,000 or $20,000 septic tank? Or both? Environmental concerns. Surveys. You can't buy land without a survey. I mean, you can, but don't. Soil quality. Access and right of ways. I learned a lot about access and right of ways, and I think I can probably solve any problem if I have enough money. Market value and future growth, title issues, financial considerations, resale value and market liquidity, neighboring profits and properties and future development. Randy Jenkins, your real estate market tipster. Okay, so let's talk about what's available in the market right now, and we'll do that by going over to MLS. So, there I am. Let's get me out of the way. Okay, so when we talk about vacant land let's talk about vacant land in Pasco County. There's approximately 500 and, if you watch this, 48 properties in Pasco County available right now. And let's do the 1 to 2 acre properties. We're down to 118 properties that are for consideration. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know I'm a big no flood zone guy. So let's take out the flood zones, and we're down to 86 properties. And on on vacant land, you want to get a paved road. There's something called a paving lien. When the county comes in and paves a road, they assess the properties on either side of the road. So you think, oh, I got this land for 25 grand, and then later they hit you up for a $25,000 paving lien. The paving lien will be a function of the of the footage on the road. So if you buy a flag lot, it'll be a lot cheaper than buying a lot with 400 feet of frontage. So the cheapest property on the market is this one in Hudson in Pasco County. It's $74,000. It's 1.09 acres, and it's on, look at that, it's right on Little Road. And it hasn't sold, interestingly, in 233 days. It's asking $67,000 a square foot, and you'll know that I'm big on apples to apples. On Bosley, we have $79,900. It works out to $42,000 a acre, 1.89 acres. Been on the market for 179 days, and this is big. The days on market tells you if it's a good deal or not. Jackson Road in Dade City has been on the market for 6 days. It's $67,700 an acre. And we'll go up to 100 grand, and then we'll do the actives and pendings. Waxweed paved road, $77,000 an acre, on the market for 45 days. One of the issues that we didn't discuss or didn't come up is the clearing. If you've got one that's fully forested, you could spend $20,000 or more on clearing it. This was $72,000 an acre. It's been on the market for 49 days. 69 days on the market for $83,000. This is a paved road. And we're at 100 grand. Here we go. Fringe Tree, good address, $104,000 an acre. They're asking 114 grand. Now, how do you look at the market? Those are the actives, and I have people all the time saying, I'm following the market by watching Zillow, but if you're not watching the pendings and the solds, you're not watching the market. You're watching the overpriced dreams of sellers. Just remember that 100% of sellers want more than their property is worth. All right, we have 6 properties that are pending over the last 90 days in this criteria, and that is the criteria of properties on a paved road. They're not in a flood zone. This was asking $65,000 when it went under contract on its 100th day, $52,000 an acre at the asking price. Roger Land, very familiar, $94,000 an acre, went under contract in 21 days. 49 days for Donnie Moore to go under contract when they were asking $86,000. When we do the sold, you're going to see that the asking price is not the sold price. Overstreet, $82,000 an acre at $119,000 in 99 days. Willow Run, $250,000, $152,000 an acre. And Rowan Road went under contract when they were asking $219,000 an acre. All right, so let's go to the solds, because that's really where we're going to see what the true market is. In the last 180 days, we've had an internet that's a little slow right now. Let's go back 90 days and see if it'll give me some results. No, it doesn't want to give me results. Okay, here we go. There's 15 properties. Maya sold. They were asking $79,000. It sold for $65,000 in 32 days. Emerald Beach, they were asking $74,000. It sold for $70,000 in 227 days, and that was $42,000 an acre. Emerald Beach. The Highlands, great subdivision, sold for $68,000 an acre in 4 days. They were asking $75,000, or they're asking $80,000, and they sold it for $75,000. Sugarberry and Spring Hill, 5 days to go under contract. They were asking $63,000, and it sold for $80,000. You know, they say there's always a story, or I say there's always a story. They're asking $63, and it sold for $80. It must have been multiple offers and highest and best. Ferrara, $105,000 they were asking. It sold for $95,000. It worked out to $79,000 an acre. $95,000. It sold for $95,000 in 7 days on Aubrey. $95,000 an acre. Merrick in Zephyr Hills, they were listed at $125. It sold for $110 in 9 days. Spring Valley in Dade City, list price $135, sold for $120,000. This is $105,000 an acre. List price $125,000, price per acre $127,000. This sold over the asking price in 0 days. Story, what's the story? Golden Acres, Great Hood, $154,000, sold for $149,000, 12 days on the market. Sold for $118,000 a square foot. An acre. Wesley Chapel and Wesley Way in Dade City, they were asking $175, sold for $170, and it sold for $170,000 an acre. Jerome, good street, paved road, $175,000, bank owned, sold for $1,000 less in 20 days, $111,000 an acre. Dogwood in Lutz, $200,000, sold for $210,000 in 5 days, sold for 5% over the asking price. Lake Patience, Lakefront, asking $295,000, sold for $295,000 in 3 days, $234,000 an acre. Last one in this is 0 days, asking $1.4 million. They already had the buyer, sold for $1.4 million. This is commercial. So I've gotten a lot of inquiries on one particular property, and we're going to go ahead and look at it by itself right now because it's so interesting. This is a 1 acre property in Moon Lake. It's tax assessed for $5,900. This is 10 acres, and they're asking $149,000 for this property. And what I want to show you is from the map. This is 10 acres. So this is accessible from Owana. Now, Owana Street is accessible-ish through to here, and then it gets really thick, and it is not very accessible. It's also accessible on Mirabella, and it is not very accessible through here. So what I want you to see is that when you look at, let's use Moon Lake as an example, all of this was developed, and all of this was developed, and all of this was developed, but this was not. And the reason is this is low-lying areas with lots of mangrove trees, and because it's cheap, people think, oh, it's 10,000. I mean, it's 150,000 for 10 acres. The county only assesses it at $5,000, $5,400, and the reason is because it's full of mangroves. All of this acreage here, I'm using my cursor if you can see it. These areas were not developed because they were low-lying. All these streets that were developed and this interesting pattern was developed because this is where the dry land is. And these other areas where there is no development, this is because this is a swamp right here. So if you think that, oh, this is a great deal, I can buy this property, you can buy it, but it is a swamp. Now, if you want to know, how do I know this? How am I so aware of the challenges of this? Let me show you. This is a property right here that has 6 acres. This is owned by, not me. Let's go to the next one. How interesting. You would think that I could pull this up and show you. Nope. All right, well, that's so interesting. Marigold Drive. There it is. This is the property I wanted to show you. Randal Jenkins. That's me. I have owned this property since I almost said 2023. I've owned this property since 2004. Actually bought it in 2003 originally. And this is 6.8 acres. The point is that if I thought I could develop this land, I would. But I know that I can't because it is very low-lying, and this is all swamp and mangroves. This is the Starkey Reserve out here. And this land may be good, maybe for hunting. We'd have to check the zoning, and I don't hunt, so I've never looked it up. But this is not developable land. And the people that are calling me on, let me show you the property that's getting all the action. It's 10 acres for $149,000. And let's see if I can get it to come up. Let's go acreage, Pasco, and 10 acres. Yeah, I'm getting slammed with this property. And the truth is that I don't think it's worth anything like the $149,000 that they're asking. And the truth is, the county doesn't think it's worth anything because they have it tax assessed for $5,400. So if you're calling on Moon Lake, 10 acres for $149,000, run away. This is not for you. Or maybe it is, but not at that price. Hey, I'm Randy Jenkins. I do real estate tips. You can find me on the internet. Google me, reach out, love to help. Appreciate the opportunity. Have a great day. Bye.